What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. It's Friday. Did I hurt your ears? It's Friday, y'all. What's up? What's poppin'? Y'all, listen. I don't have nothing to talk about, to be honest. So you know what? You know what that means. We gonna still run our mouth. What's up, y'all? It's Friday. Are y'all happy it's Friday? I am. You know, I love Fridays. Friday is my favorite day. For those who don't know, it is my favorite day. I love Fridays. So, what are we going to talk about? Oh, let me get up here, honey. We are going to talk about, I just saw something real quick. No, before we get started, let me turn this heater down. When I put on the radio this morning, Back That Ass Up was on. Girl, who is you playing with? Okay? I know you can't stand it. I dick bandit. Done landed. See your draws handed. Hey, what? That's my shit. It was just on. It was going off right when I hit record, y'all. Okay, so what are we going to talk about? First, hit thumbs up, okay? Because the views don't match the thumbs up. What's going on over here at McDonald's? It looks like they're remodeling. I'm hungry. What's going on? Let's see. People be on their phones, honey. At the stoplight, everybody be like, boop, pick the phone up. Everybody, I do it too. I do it too. I wonder, like, what is it? Like, I don't get it. Maybe it's the fear of missing out. What is going on with us as a society? You know, the whole good morning thing, speaking to each other. This guy I was talking to at work, he was like, he noticed that too, that like a lot of people don't greet each other when they see each other. He said, I think it has to do with social media. I think people are so disconnected in a real space that they don't know how to speak anymore. Like, I'm like, okay, so did social media really evolve us as a race to be like not connected in person? Like, we can only feel like we can only connect through our black mirror? Like, what the fuck? Crazy, right? So I'm like, I never thought about that. And then I was like, you know what? He's probably right, because no one speaks. No, everybody's looking down. They'll look at you in the face and they don't speak. I don't get it. And he was like, I think it has to do with social media. And because the reason why him and I started talking is because when he walked into the room where I was in, he was like, good morning. I was like, oh my God, I have been here all morning and you are the first person to actually speak to me and say good morning. He was like, yeah. He was like, I noticed that too. I was like, shut up. He was like, yeah. He's like, because I think it has to do with social media. People are not connected. They're just not, they just don't know how to connect to No Sleep Till Brooklyn. Oh my God. I want to turn that up so loud. But yeah, he was like, yeah, I think it has to do with social media. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that people are not connecting with each other in person because of social media? I know that social media, I was reading yesterday that social media is a real good place for people who are introverts but still social, like they're ambiverts, so they can go back and forth. That's me. Like, I feel like that's me. Like, I love to be on like Twitter and socializing and stuff, and I'm good. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm good. I'm relaxed. I'm in my own home. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to get dressed if I don't want to. You feel me? That's how I feel about it, you know. So what do y'all have planned for the weekend? I don't have nothing planned, getting the boys' haircuts. That's about it. But I did want to talk about what the motherfucking Rebel Wilson. She has a romantic comedy coming out, and she was on Ellen, and on Ellen she said that she is so happy to be the first plus-size woman in a romantic comedy. So, you know, everybody went to the drawing board like, okay, wait, bitch, something you could, it is impossible for it. And I know that we are not where we need to be as a community and as a society, but goddamn it, there has had to be another woman, plus-size woman, as a lead in a romantic comedy. So you know what the folks did. They got, honey, no, Queen Latifah in Just Right with Common is a plus size woman in the lead of a romantic comedy. Well, I appreciate that. Here she comes back, and and you know, and I don't know, I don't know what it is about white women. I don't know what it is, but they be saying the craziest shit, and I really think that sometimes, maybe 10% of the time, they don't know what the fuck they be saying. And I think they talk really from a place of ignorance, like straight up fucking ignorance. She says that, well, I don't know that these women were considered plus size when they start in this movie. Bitch, Queen Latifah been plus size since she came out for Ladies First, goddammit. With Wrath of My Madness, goddammit. She been a tall plus size girl forever. She ain't never been skinny. So I don't know what the fuck. And then Rebel Wilson goes on to say, now I like Rebel Wilson, I think she's funny, but this is what I'm talking about, white women when they be talking and just saying stupid shit. Like, and it's a conditioned sense of entitlement. Well, we don't really know if they were considered plus size. It's really a gray area. So because it's too black, you took your white ass in order to define the gray area, bitch. If you don't get your motherfucking ass out of here, girl, bye. I said to her on Twitter, oh, so your whiteness is to define the gray area. Is that what we doing here? You know, and she may not have meant it like that, but it's just like, oh, it's a gray area. I don't know if Queen Latifah was really considered plus size, but your white ass defined it as I'm the first one. I don't really know if Queen Latifah was. Too black over there. My white ass is going to fix up the gray area. Bitch, it's okay. You weren't, and you're not. You're not the first plus size woman to be the lead. Monique has been a lead in a romantic comedy, hasn't she? And motherfucking Queen Latifah. 2 plus size women. And you can't tell me that you weren't clear if Monique was a plus size woman at the time that they shot the movie. Girl, if you don't get your white ass out of here. I said, it's okay, girl, you weren't the first. Sorry to bust your bubble. But they always assume they're the first. They was the first people in America. You know that, right? You know that? Stupid. These people are crazy. Hilarious and crazy. Takeoff album came out today. I can't wait to hear it. I heard last night. It came out at midnight last night. And the people had already started reviewing it. I was like, you motherfuckers want to be first so fucking bad. Where does that come from? I guess it comes from, I don't know where it comes from. I can't even clearly understand where that comes from, where you want to be first. You don't even take enough time to process a movie, a book, music, any form of media. Somebody wants to be first in their review of it. There's no way that you can listen to an album one time, whether it's 40 minutes, an hour, and have processed it enough to write a thoughtful, well-informed review. I don't think you can. You can say, well, on my first listen, you know what I'm saying? But you got to listen to it differently. You have to listen to it in the car. You got to listen to it in your headphones. You got to listen to the lyrics if you understand them. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else I wanted to talk about. Penny Dreadful. Do you guys watch Penny Dreadful? Some guy had told me about it. I said that it was real good, but then I saw an ad for it on Twitter last night, and it's going to be based in Los Angeles in the 30s, and the cover is a woman with a sugar skull, you know, and I can't wait to watch it. And that, when they said Los Angeles in the 30s, I'm like, okay, I'm there. I'm about to watch it. I think it comes on either Showtime or HBO. I'm not sure, but we're gonna watch it this season, and I probably will review it. because I'm excited about it. So I don't know if y'all watch it, but y'all gonna watch it, goddammit. We're gonna watch it together. Together. What else is going on? Today is Dia de los Muertos. So today we will be honoring our ancestors, and this is a Mexican tradition. As you know, I was raised in East Los Angeles. So you honor your ancestors today. It's All Saints Day. Light a candle. Put some food on the altar. Whatever your ancestors like. Feed them, light candles for them, sit with them, talk to them. It's the Day of the Dead. So, Dia de los Muertos. All right? All right. Let me get from behind this motherfucking Pontiac. What is this? This is a Pontiac. A Pontiac. Who has a Pontiac? Y'all got Pontiacs? Anyways, what else? Something else. Oh! That's what I wanted to talk about last night. Remy Ma and Scottie Beam are the women on Joe Budden's show on Revolt called, and on YouTube called State of the Culture. I love the name, State of the Culture. I wish I would have fucking thought of that. State of the Culture. Where they talk about everything going on in the community. I think it's a wonderful concept for a show. And I hate to critique the women, but we know who Joe is. Joe is a male Virgo, so you already get the makeup of who he is. He really, I believe that Joe is a thinker, but I believe that Joe is only, I can't really, I feel like he and I are a lot alike in a way. Like we know a lot of things, but not like, he just knows a lot of things, but he's not an expert in a lot of things. I believe he is an expert in music. I'm not going to take that away from Joe Budden. I believe he's an expert in hip hop. He's a dope MC. He said he's never going to release anything again, but Joe Budden was like one of the dopest. And he has this show, you know, he has a podcast, he has Pull Up where he does the individual interviews, but then he has State of the Culture. And the episode, I mean, I've been watching it, clips and things like that, but it's been very difficult for me to watch it because Scottie Beam, and I had to look her up because the first time I saw her or was introduced to her was on Joe Budden's show Pull Up. And let me put some lip gloss on, child. My lips feel like the back of an alligator. I'm hungry. Hold on, let me put some. Let me get this camera right. I didn't plug in the charger or nothing, child. Okay, so Scottie Beam, I think she's like a radio personality or something. I don't know who she is. She's very well known. I don't really know too much about her. Like I said, the first time I was introduced to her, pretty girl. You know, she seems like has some smarts, and I don't think that Joe would fuck with her if he didn't think that she was smart or didn't think that she would be an asset to his show. Remy Ma is another one. I think we don't give Remy Ma enough credit for how she thinks, but I think we still need to critique how she thinks because it's a little like she's one of those people that came out of like our generation X and Y, and she came out holding on to ideas that the baby boomers had, and they came off of, you know, parents who were still beating their children and just like these archaic ways to raise children, you know, like the way our grandparents and great grandparents, and then our parents adopted that, and then we are the results of that shit. I think that she's one of those people who has decided that some of those ways are still okay, and we have learned through people being in therapy, people being estranged from their family, that those tactics on how they were taught to raise and rear children and how to view ideas of the world. I think she has she still holds on to some of those things, which is not productive. She just needs to unlearn some things and relearn some things. So I think she'll be okay. She's really active in the community. I don't like that she tries to hide her pregnancy. I hate that. I really, like, Khloe Kardashian did that shit, and I really think, I know it's a mental thing for the woman, but I feel like you're in full God glory. Like, show your fucking stomach, bitch. You got a human inside of you, fucking God right now. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you are co-creator of this shit, and you are holding it. Show the world, bitch. And I think, you know, some women are just, especially in entertainment, they're just like real self-conscious, trying to figure out ways to hide their pregnancy, and then figuring out a way to hurry up and snap back after your body has been through a full metamorphosis of releasing a human out of it. You want to snap back. Child, that's why I be like, that shit is for that ego. That people having children is all ego. Because if you worried about how you look while you pregnant, and then want to snap back to what are you having a baby for? Like, you be good, like, be fully present. Stop trying to hide it. Anyways, that's just a personal thing of mine. Anyway, so Remy Ma and Scottie Beam are on there. Scottie Beam has this approach where she is the ABW. She's been coined the ABW, the angry black woman. Very passionate, yelling. You know, we all have been, anybody that speaks over a certain tone, and against a lot of shit that men say, or society has deemed us, and you're not so proper, and your etiquette and this and that, and you cuss and blah blah blah, you're considered an angry black woman. Anytime you speak with passion, and they call it saying that you're emotional, and Joe Budden said the other day, and I was waiting for Scottie to really get into him, because her views are a lot like what we would label ABW, but it's really not ABW. It is, you know, you have a right to be angry. You have a right to be mad, because we are living in a community, one, where the men still take on ideas and characteristics of their oppressor and try to put that on us. And there's a lot of things that women have a fucking right to be angry about, especially in this patriarchal system that we have been governed by forever. So she has a lot of views, and they always say she's angry, she's mad, she's always against the men. But no, she wants to hold the men accountable for the bullshit that they do. If you're gonna hold the women accountable or hold them to a standard, the men should be held to the same standard, and vice versa. That's all she keeps, like, you know, pushing. Like with this Brittany Renner book, she's saying, why is it a big deal that this woman wrote a tell-all when niggas be rapping about bitches having their full names in songs, Drake, and talking about women and what they've done with these women and what these women have done to you. But now all of a sudden, you don't want these women to write tell-all books. If you don't want these women to write tell-all books, stop fucking them. That's what she's saying. You know who, and then she was like, well, you know who you should know who you fucking. And Joe's like, no, come on, I know in a perfect world we should know everything about the person we're having sex with, but that's not realistic. Facts. And he's right. But then he was like, who hurt you? Why can't you hold women accountable? When he was like, this whole fake women empowerment thing is fake, because y'all don't hold women accountable when they're wrong. You only want to say it's the man, the man, the man. And she could not. And then he was like, who hurt you? And if anybody knows, if you ask a black woman who hurt her, like if you really wanted to know the answer, she would have an answer for you. Out of 10 black women, if you ask them who hurt you, 9 of them, what is that? 9 of them can tell you who hurt them. If you really wanted to know, if it wasn't just a little tagline that you said in order to dismiss women. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's very dismissive to say you're so angry because somebody hurt you. But listen, we live under this society that's ran by men. There's a whole motherfucking movement of women talking about who hurt them, and you motherfuckers still don't believe them. So we ain't telling you who hurt us, because I bet you if you really sat down, Joe, and asked Scottie who hurt you, she can tell you who hurt her. And I bet you it was a motherfucking man. Okay? Or a woman who operates under internalized misogyny. She exercises misogyny. She hates women just as much as the men who hate women hate women. You understand what I'm saying? So I really wanted Scottie to get him together, but Scottie does not. She has to learn how to be passionate. Nobody's telling her to take away that passion. You know what I'm saying? But be passionate, and it has to be fueled with logic. You got to make sense, especially when you're talking to a man who is automatically going to dismiss your point of view because you're a woman, and who is going to dismiss you as soon as you raise your voice higher than him, as soon as you hold him accountable for something, as soon as you say something where he feels like you're coming at him. If you say all men are trash, and you know the ones who like to defend it, even though men are trash, but you got a man trying to defend it in an effort to distance himself and say that I'm not one of those men, instead of saying, you know what, men are trash and they do treat y'all fucked up, and I need to hold other men accountable for the way that they treat y'all. But that's another story. Scottie needs to be able to be passionate, but have that passion fueled with logic. And the reason why I really don't care for her is because I saw her on Pull Up with Adrian Foster. He's a football. No, he used to be a football player. Another Virgo, fucking smart and knows the art of debate and discussion, and is a great conversationalist. He does have a podcast. I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but he did. And he's just a real good conversationalist. He's also an atheist, so his points of view are very, very different, and he likes to encourage thought. He loves to encourage thought and then ask you to back up how you feel about something. If you determine that somebody has a thought process where you feel like there's a flaw in the thought process, why do you feel it's a flaw? Don't just be like, okay, well, I don't like what he said, so I'm dismissing everything about him. That's not productive. That's not a way to grow. That's not a way to understand. And when he was on that interview on Pull Up, she completely dismissed him to the point where she was like in her phone, looking at her phone. And I was like, okay, well, she doesn't know how to have a conversation. She knows how to state her position without being... She knows how to state her position, but then she's dismissive to the other person and cuts them off and doesn't want to hear what they have to say, because his point was everybody wants to be a motherfucking free thinker, but you don't want people to think different than you. So how does that promote free thinking if your thought process, I don't challenge you on your thought process? Even if I fucking agree with your thought process, I'm going to challenge you, because you need to know why you are standing in whatever truth you are standing in. You need to be able to back that shit up. And Scottie can't do it. I don't know. I want her to be successful on the show, but I don't think she's a good fit at all. I don't think she's a good fit. And Remy Ma suffers from internalized misogyny. She does. You should have heard the shit she was saying about R. Kelly, that he's illiterate. And like, I don't know if she was making excuses more so than playing devil's advocate. Like, well, they said this about him, and the women that he abuses defend him. And she was just saying a bunch of shit. And some people on Twitter were like, she was defending R. Kelly, but I don't think it, because I was like, let me go watch this before I get on Remy Ma's ass. So I watched it last night, and I was like, I don't think she was defending him, but I'm thinking she was playing devil's advocate and giving all the reasons as to why R. Kelly is not under the jail, or somebody hasn't killed him. You understand what I'm saying? Because I believe that R. Kelly pays off the judges in Chicago. I believe he pays the parents off. I believe he preys on women who are on a lower socioeconomic level, who feels like they want to be rappers and singers and stuff, and their parents are also in that ghetto hood mind state, not their behavior, but their mind state. And so when their child is being abused, because abused girls and boys in our community, they're usually ignored, pushed aside. The girl is told, oh, you just trying to get with my man. The boy is told he's gay or some just bullshit that we deal with in our community. And I believe that R. Kelly goes after women whose parents are like, okay, well, I know I heard he's abusive, but he's giving us $500,000, basically selling their children to him. I believe that. I believe that. But Remy Ma was just saying, like, you know, all of the things, the reasons why, like, these could be the reasons why he's not in jail, right? And BuzzFeed did a wonderful article about the Me Too movement within hip-hop. Maybe, baby, it would shut the whole fucking industry down. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? If women decide, because you saw but see, the thing is, y'all ask who hurt you, but then when we tell you, you dismiss us, right? Because it doesn't fit what it's like. Who hurt you? You being dismissive to me and how I feel about a situation. But let me tell you who really hurt me. And y'all don't hold the men accountable. Tekashi 6ix9ine, Nas, Russell Simmons, XXXTentacion. They're really trying to make him out to be some kind of martyr or something. And they're not only abusing girls, and remove Nas from this, but like Tekashi and XXX, and R. Kelly, they're abusing underage girls. Not 19-year-old women who are saying to their parents, who have been brainwashed and saying to their parents, don't come for me, and I'm gonna stay with R. Kelly in his motherfucking dungeon because they've been drugged and manipulated, which is easy to do once you alter somebody's mind state, is to easily manipulate them. And I believe that R. Kelly, and we don't hold these people accountable because who they're abusing, women. And this is a society that we live in. Women have been abused for centuries with no repercussions. We tell you, nothing happens. They get put on the Supreme Court. They get to be president. They get to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Men are allowed to abuse women in this country, in this society, in this world, in this everywhere. And women are so fucking powerful. That is the reason why they like to separate from men, because they kind of diminish their power. They don't want to be involved. All men are trash. All of that stuff. Back to Scottie and Remy Ma. Remy Ma, I think, is a good fit for State of the Culture. But Scottie Beam, I need for her, when they know what topics they're talking about, I need for her to have her notes outlined clear, and I need for Joe to allow her to speak. Joe won't. He likes to talk over people because he's a Virgo, so he feels he's right about everything he's saying. So he's a male Virgo. So you already know how Virgos are. Add the gender on top of it, and it's like, shut up. But he's smart, so you know I'm gonna give it to Joe. But that's about it, y'all. So that's all I really wanted to talk about. I really didn't have much to say. I just really thought it was a wonderful day. It's Friday, and I really want to talk about those. What else we want to talk about? But I said I'm going to do probably this weekend the 13 things that black parents do wrong in raising children. You gonna watch that too? watch every video so you can learn. We can unlearn these bullshit ideas. I want some breakfast. What time is it? Kiki, do you love me? Come on, are you riding? Somebody told me I hate Drake. You hate Drake. You just hate Drake, and you hate Nicki Minaj. No, I just critique the hell out of them and don't give them everything. Like, I used to fuck with Drake, but him and Nicki are just personas to me, and their personas are, you know, I need for y'all to grow up. And then Johnny Blaze was on motherfucking The Breakfast Club talking about, you know, how she's been through a lot. Human trafficking, drug addiction, prostitution, just everything. And then she used to fuck with Drake. And then she was like, yeah, we was fucking without a condom. So y'all bitches out here fucking Drake without a condom, because obviously every bitch he come across, he's sticking his raw dick in her. So he's a nasty motherfucker. Fucking gross! Gross! Gross. Gross. Go watch that Johnny Blaze interview. It's very interesting. All the shit that she's been through. Y'all don't know, like, you see these women who are angry, who have a lot of passion behind what they say, who are very vocal, who will let everybody know what the real is, who you cannot silence. Okay? Those women have stories, and we need to listen for real, because telling their stories is going to help other people and other women and girls and young girls growing up. You understand what I'm saying? And I think we have to be not ashamed, because I know the things that I've gone through are not as bad as other women, but for me, they were bad for me. But I feel like when you go through those things, we are taught to be ashamed of it, because you have allowed yourself to be abused in some way or mistreated in some way, and you should be better than that, or should have been able to see the signs or whatever. But I think that now we have to make it okay to talk about it, so that people are not shamed. Because when you're ashamed, you keep a secret, you won't tell it, and you won't talk about it. And when you start talking about it, that starts the process of healing. And whether you're ashamed of it or not, you are not going to be able to heal until you speak it out. Not writing it down, speak it. So if you're talking to a therapist or friend, a close friend, YouTube, whatever the fuck, speak your truth. All right? You guys have a wonderful day. Take care of each other. For real, take care of each other. Peace.